If I... Sorry.
You're fine.
Excuse us, we don't mean to invade.
Excuse me. Oh, okay, that's what you meant. I was so confused.
Am I gonna mess you up?
No, you're good. I guess that's another piece of advice that I can throw in here. Have patience. And not with just your work, but if you're gonna be outside like me, it's a public space. Everybody shares it. Oh, didn't see you there. Now, before we begin, this may be one of the last videos that I do. To give some context, I've been on YouTube before Google even bought it. Now, when it comes to the direction that I've taken the channel, I didn't really get serious until early 2021. Now, stay with me. I've looked to creators for advice because it's nice to hear from their journey, but can you tell me anything more than find your niche or stay consistent? On a technical level, you could say that my professional journey began when I used to work for a radio station called Kiss FM. I was a promotions assistant, and it was pretty much just being a glorified merch table, but anytime our on-air personalities or celebrities were by, it was my job to get as many pictures of them as I could. If I could get pictures of people holding up our merch next to the personality or celebrity, even better. Now, that job unfortunately ended because the world shut down and there was no need for a promotions assistant when there was nothing to promote. But that does lead me into my first piece of advice. Hanging out with photographers is great for creativity, but it's not going to get you jobs. I'll put it to you like this. I enjoyed every moment hanging out with my coworkers on the job, but they couldn't really do anything for me because we were all in the same boat. It was being cool with the DJ who would take me on his own gigs and give me advice on who I should be talking to get my name up the ladder. And favoritism does exist. Of course, every job says that they don't, but they do. And certain jobs were offered to me that weren't offered to others simply because my bosses liked me. If I haven't made myself clear, you need to network with more people than just photographers if you want more opportunities. Now, the next piece of advice I have is more like a word of caution. Places like Best Buy and Shop Moment, yeah, don't treat them like they're candy. And here's what I mean by that. I wonder if the mic is good here. I'm never really good at positioning the microphone, but I'm not going to keep it there either. Okay, but here's what I mean by don't treat those stores or websites like they're candy. It'll be enticing to buy gear that you don't have, and if you're a beginner, most likely can't afford. Sometimes the thought process will go something like this. You'll buy the newest Sony ZV whatever, right? And then DJI is going to drop a new Osmo Pocket or a new action camera. And you're going to be like, wow, that looks really good for this situation. So now I'll have this camera for that situation and a different camera for that situation. And then Sony will drop another ZV whatever. And then you'll be like, should I upgrade to that one? It's never ending. Do not max out your credit card trying to buy cameras that you probably don't need. If you envision yourself mainly doing studio portraits, what do you need a drone for? Speaking as someone who mainly does portraits, yet I have a drone that I think I used once. Well, actually twice, but in a video, you've only seen me use it once, and that's the very first video on this channel. Really focus on what you need. On to the next piece of advice that I have. Another piece of advice I have is take photos or videos just 'cause. You're doing this with absolute no purpose other than taking the photos or filming the videos. Because I think one trap you can find yourself in is only taking photos when you have a plan to publish them on YouTube or publish them on on Instagram or TikTok or whatever your app of choice is. It's easy to get in that mentality. And so you don't really work on your craft unless you are at work. And then it doesn't really feel fun anymore. Also, you may find yourself in a situation like this, where you have a good idea, and the first time you try executing it is on a project. And you'll find that you are unprepared. And that's going to be really bad if that project was for a client rather than just your own personal project. So do it ahead of time. This will get you one step closer into making your idea into reality. So my last two pieces of advice are actually hearkening back to what I said earlier in this video about what I have seen content creators basically give advice to us beginners. Their heart's in the right place, but I do think there is some nuance to it, and I just want to add my 2 cents onto the thoughts. First, let's tackle being consistent. Consistency is only a discipline for you. If we take someone who we can kind of say is at the top of the game, like Peter McKinnon, keep him in mind, and now let's look at 2 other visual artists, Vex and Gox. They have more followers than Peter McKinnon's peers do. Why do I bring that up? Why is that important? It's not me trying to take shots, but this is something I consistently see creators say. Be consistent. Yet they aren't really consistent. Maybe 1 video a month, if that. And yet they have more followers than these people do. So what is consistency? It's a discipline for you to get into the habit of this practice. Yes, to an extent, you can say consistency is for the viewers, but again, Vex hasn't posted a video in like how many months, and he still has millions of followers. Don't overwork yourself. Don't think, you have to take this Gary Vee approach, post every single day until you're burnt out before you really even began. Now, the last thing that I want to mention is find your niche. I think that is important, but I would say I would replace find your niche with find your style. You could start this whole journey thinking you're going to be a product reviewer, only to find out that maybe you actually like nature photography, and that's the road that you want to take. Take some portraits, take some landscapes, take some nature, be out during the day, be out during the night. Really find out what it is that you like and what it is that you're good at. And once you figure that out, that's when you can kind of cater to your style and be like, okay, well, this is my style. Who else is in my boat? Who likes to watch this? But yeah, I would really just switch those 2 terms around because I think it's more beneficial for you starting out. And that's the last thing that I have to say. Again, there are a few projects that I still want to do, so you will still see a few more videos. But after that, to be honest, I don't know. I've been doing this for a while. I gave it a good college try, and it just didn't pan out for me. So thank you for hanging out with me in my downtime. I'll see you if I see you.
This is the greatest thing that I have ever seen. Out of everything that's on the internet, this is the best thing that has ever existed.